nervous. Like
even down the stretch, boy.
yeah,
like,
I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, oh, no chance. It's like good.
I was so nerve-wracking.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chase.
Can we get an update on Kellen?
Sure.
Or official, I saw the tweet.
Official. Yeah. So he tweeted something out. So we had initially thought that it was a possible ACL injury, but it's not. It is still a severe or significant injury. I'm going to let Chris and Maddie give you guys the exact terminology of the PCL versus ACL and the damage that's in his knee. But right now, the initial estimates are 6 to 8 weeks. So that's what it's at. He's going to tell you that he's going to be ready in 4 or 3 or, that's Kellen. I know him. So that's the update there.
Sometimes, where some can kind of be unappreciative of what he does, can you kind of talk a little bit about what he does beyond just filling in for Nuhu? Just what he brings.
Ever since he's been here, ever since he's came home, I should say, Federway, he's been good for this club. He's got a ton of experience. I can plug him in different spots on the field. The first year I think I played him all over the field. This year it's been, a little bit more, kind of Nuhu-centric, do you fill in left back? But he can play other positions. He's enjoying being home. You can just tell. He loves being on the grass. He loves in the locker room with his teammates. So I think it's a great success story and a good place to end his career.
When you look at that, well, actually, let me ask first. Nuhu, still not out here, so is he still?
He's still. It's tricky. We are giving him enough bed rest so that when he does come back, he will be 100%. Because I think that in out is not good. So we want to make sure that whatever's going on with him, viral, bacterial, whatever, we've ruled all the major stuff out. That he just comes back, and when he comes out, he'd be ready to go.
Not that it's necessarily any of our business on this, but is it? I mean, can you say if it's COVID related or not?
I can't say that.
Okay.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble.
Christian, how's Christian doing?
That's another one that's lingering. Not good, Jackson. He still has symptoms. He was not out here today because he's actually going to see a specialist. I don't know the doctor's name, but that one's concerning as well. And when I say concerning, it's not concerning as far as like career ending or anything like that, but just that the symptoms have, lingered on. Certainly we all, again, his health is paramount. So we're taking that one real slow just to make sure that, again, when he comes back, there's no second concussion, no third, so we want to make sure we're awfully careful there.
So with that and with JP obviously being out with the yellow cards, this week in the midfield, what's the message in the guys like Obed and Josh fighting for some
You got
starts?
Obed, you got Josh. I played Nico there, Sota. I mean, we'll have guys that step up. I think the kid will be excited. Obed, Josh is chomping at the bit. I don't got any problem with starting any of those kids. So we'll see.
And left back, Cody, Reed.
That's a good one. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Nuhu makes it back. If he doesn't, Jada, I'll let you know later in the week kind of what we think about. Because there the dilemma is, okay, so Alex can play over there and Reed or Ethan can come over here. But, then you're changing 2 positions. You just change one. You brought up Cody Baker. That's very astute of you. I mean, we can get him on contract, short-term contract. Maybe he's the guy that steps up. I'm having Craig look into all the roster rules to make sure that that's even a possibility. But, Cody certainly did well against the Loyal. So maybe that's just where we go.
It wouldn't be a tactical change, create a bad kind of...
No, we don't want to change tactics just because we're missing one person. I think the way we play, our style of play has been pretty effective. So.
So just to be clear, you are holding out some hope that Nuhu could theoretically play.
I am holding out hope that he can play on Sunday against Sporting KC.
Speaking about general tactics and stuff, looking back at the RSL game, did it feel like transition was a little bit slower than usual in this particular game, or did you see anything different in terms of maybe offensive movements?
What we talked about on film session today was just, we talk a lot about polishing or sharpening the knife. It's coach's term for certain aspects of the game. I think we've done a good job of polishing how we want to play in the build-up from back to front. But that game, when we watched the film, was classic. We just weren't sharp enough in the final third. We had so many, talk about transition chances, build-up chances. That first 21 minutes of the second half, we were all over them. There were some moments in the second half where you're talking about transition. Albert gets the ball and he plays Jordan a little wide. Alex gets the ball dropped to him at his feet in the top of the. I think he was just surprised. It was like, oh my God, and the defender catches him. There was just little moments where I don't think we were sharp enough. Otherwise, we could have scored the first goal, and then things change.
It's cool to see Jordy Philem.
It's great
back
to see him.
Or signed or
No.
possibility.
So he is getting some training for Martinique in the Gold Cup. So I will have a discussion with Jordy about other plans, but I don't think we would sign him. I think we have enough young kids in that position. Does he sign for Defiance? Is there room there? Who knows? I mean, Wade, we all love Jordy Philem. Wade's doing him a solid, just letting him train in preparation for the Gold Cup. So we love having Jordy around.
American Soccer Analyst does this survey every year where they talk to GMs and they ask which team is most, analytically inclined, and the Sounders came out on top of that survey. What can you say about the relationship you have with the analytics department and data in general?
I don't know. I'm still old school, Jeremiah. I mean, there's a big part of me that pays attention to the data and the analytics, and there's a equally big part of me, maybe even a slightly bigger part of me that says, it's mentality, it's the group, it's, fighting for your teammates, it's, our sport is too fluid. There's too many things that change on a dime. But what I will tell you is this. So a lot of people say, okay, Yaimar, he's a really good defender, maybe not the best passer, but his stats about finding passes in between lines forward has been dynamic this year. And there were a couple passes in the RSL game that were lights out. A Bear playing in between the lines. I think he's number one or close to number one about receiving balls in between lines, and he's only played a smaller amount of games, but he's very good at that. I think our defending statistics are good. I think there's a lot of positives, but I would tell you that LAFC is still a front runner. I mean, they are. So.
Right. And I think what the survey was measuring wasn't so much the performance, but in terms of the way that the team takes in information.
Okay, I misread your question.
Yeah, right. And so it's more about your the team's open-mindedness to listening to the analytics department and sort of the empowerment of the analytics department within
our main owner was kind of a techie guy, and that started it. Ravi started it. Tyler's super smart, a lot smarter than I am. John, Jorge, the video guys. When you layer different components on top of some of the old school stuff that we still use about mentality, it adds up to a pretty impressive package. I would never, ever discount, and we do use some of the things that Tyler brings us. He brings it to our attention. We watch the film. Do they match? Okay, here's the game plan. That's kind of the sequence. Tyler gives us an in-depth report of our opponent like a week in advance. So we already know, Sporting KC, what they've done, what their strengths are, where their attacks come from, where they defend well, where they don't defend well. Freddie and all the video guys will pick apart the video to see if they agree, and then we'll bring up a game plan, constitute a game plan.
So I guess the story there is that it's just all part of it's all rolled into the grand package.
Oh yeah. You have to these days. I think it'd be foolish not to use all the resources that you have.
I know you probably hate the cliche about catch games.
This is a catch game, yeah, for sure. They're going to be desperate, for sure.
Do you feel you're vulnerable because of the injuries and such?
No, no. Well, look, we're vulnerable in the sense that in any given day, teams can come up with upsets or wins away from home. In Portland, that was a tough, place to play in St. Louis. Good, not good for them. Good for them. I mean, there's Greg Vanny probably feels egregious that we went down there and beat him the first go around. So, Jade, I think it's a tough league to play away from home.